Hello, I'm Paul.
And I'm Alison.
And welcome to another of our marriage marathon vlogs. This is number 6. And we're actually into new territory now, aren't we? We could say we're pioneers. Last week we did a 16-mile run, which is further than either of us have ever run before. Probably walked before, I would think, as well. But it was certainly a challenge for us. But to say that at the age of 60 and 41ish,
In my dreams.
we are still breaking new ground and achieving things that we have never accomplished before. I think that's quite something. We have found though that whilst it's been useful to have a training program, we haven't stuck rigidly to it, have we? We've had to adapt it to our own needs and circumstances, and sometimes it's been too windy to run the particular day we've planned, like this weekend, and so we've had to change the days. Also, it's not worked for you to have the recovery run after the long runs.
Not good for my knees
No.
at all.
So we've had to adjust that, and ultimately, whilst the training schedules are really helpful, nobody can really tell you how it's going to feel for you, what parts of your body are going to ache the most, and therefore which parts you need to work on, which parts you need to strengthen most in order to ensure that we get round on the big day. But it does mean that also we have to take personal responsibility to work hard and to train, to do the stretching and the strengthening of those areas in our bodies that we need to, that we know we feel the weaknesses in when we're running. So yeah, we're kind of, I wouldn't say we're making it up as we go along. We kind of have a training regime, but we are adapting it to our own needs, aren't we?
We are indeed, yeah. And this whole idea of trailblazing and being a pioneer.
Will you forget the stupid pioneers? Have you ever noticed that there are none of them left? That's because they were lousy hitchhikers, ate coral, and took directions from algae. And now you're telling me they thought they could drive trucks?
We've realised you can apply that to a relationship. So, for example, this year we obviously have been married 25 years. Well, I've not been married 25 years before. Have you, dear?
Not that I'm aware of, not unless this is my second lifetime.
So for us, getting this far in a relationship is new. We are trailblazing, new territory. We've not been here in a relationship before at all, have we? And so there's some real similarities between the pioneering in our training and running a marathon that we've not done before, and being at this stage in a relationship before. And I guess for many of you, you might have been married 30, 40, 50 years, but again, that will all be new. You won't have been at that point before. So there were some interesting parallels in there, and it doesn't have to be a set course. I think lots of people imagine how it might be, and on the day we do the marathon, that will be a set course. There'll be a start, a finish, there'll be barriers up all along the way, and we'll have no choice really, will we, but to run the set course that's been laid out for us. But in our training runs, we're the ones that have been deciding where we start, where we go, which roads, which paths, which tracks we go down.
Morrison's on a Friday morning, about to attempt a 16-mile run. We're not here to shop, we're here to start and run home. So we are about 4 miles into our run. So far so good. And we're just coming up to, would you believe, Asda supermarket. We're just crossing over the motorway, the M180. To Scunthorpe. Ooh, squirrel.
Squirrel!
Oh, we're just coming up to what's called Gunnis Bridge, and we're just halfway. So we've done 13k. The railway line runs across here as well, and to my right you'll see there's a ship or a boat, whatever you call them. It's just docked. So this is a nice little run through here. So as the song goes, and now the end is near, which is just as well, because I don't think I could run any more today.
And so similarly, in a relationship, it can be like that, but lots of people don't realise they've got that choice, and that it can be steered. As a pioneer, you're choosing where you're going to go and how you're going to get there. And so it can be exactly the same in a relationship. And I know sometimes for some people there's certain expectations put on them, and this can be from yourself, from others, from family, from religion and culture even, about how a marriage is supposed to be. But actually you two, you're the ones actually in the relationship. It's down to you to decide how you want that to be, even if there may be certain parameters, but you can still choose how you do that and adjust and review as you go along. And some of this reminded me of a flying lesson I had some years ago. I'm actually, there's not a lot I'm fearful of, but I'm not good with heights or flying, and I set myself challenges sort of every year to help with it. This particular year was a flying lesson, and when the instructor gave me charge, it's not a steering wheel but the thing you steer the plane with, it was hilarious because I said, I don't know where to go. And so there we were in the sky, all this sky, and I didn't know where to steer it. So do you know what I did? I steered it over the road because I was more familiar with driving along the road in a car than I was with having all this sky and so much choice. Now, I didn't do that for the whole entire lesson, thankfully. I did veer off the road and sort of enjoyed the freedom, if you like, of the whole of the sky. But it did remind me of a relationship, a long-term relationship isn't set. You don't have to do the set course of the marathon or the set course of the road. You can choose how and where you want to take your relationship. So yeah, that was just something that made me chuckle, really. So it's so important to keep a relationship fresh, because otherwise the more the years go on, it can become routine and mundane and the same old. That can affect your well-being, and it can also put the relationship in danger, really, because one or both of you can become vulnerable to getting attention elsewhere if it's not happening from within the relationship. So it's vital, really, that the relationship is kept fresh and fun, and you keep getting out of your comfort zones, whether that's little steps or big steps, that's up to you. So some of the things that we've thought about to do that are things like learning new hobbies and interests together, as well as doing things on your own, but doing certain things together. So we've started
Dancing lessons.
Can you believe? We're real Strictly fans, but we've never learnt to dance, apart from we did do some salsa classes some years ago.
And we do have a bronze certificate in salsa.
Ah, dear me. Oh, that makes me chuckle as well. But anyway, and so yeah, we're having dancing lessons, which are going quite well now, aren't they? We've not had many, but we're sort of getting the hang of it. But it's great fun, and it's something we do together. So yeah, new interests, new hobbies. Spending time together, just going out for coffee and cake, or going down to the pub for a drink or dinner, or a date night in, sort of eating related activities together. showing random acts of kindness. I just think it's wonderful. Being spontaneous, or making or finding or buying fun gifts, or loving gifts. They can be just wonderful, can't they? Spending time away at the weekend, if that's affordable for you, just this quality time together. And then something that I thought was really quite important is it doesn't matter how old you are, but still sharing your dreams together. And I'm sure most of you have seen the film Up with Ellie and Carl, and it's just the balloons, yeah, going up, and the house, and squirrel. And it's just the most wonderful story, tear-jerkingly painful early on. But one of the things young Ellie says, and I'm just going to get my piece of paper to read it: imagine all the wonderful things that will never happen if you do not let them. And it can be like that in a relationship, a long-term relationship. We cannot allow things to happen because we've narrowed down our expectations of how it's supposed to be. But when we're pioneers, when we're trailblazers of our own relationship, we can engage with so many wonderful things.
Absolutely. And I think we're still learning things about each other, and things that we like to do. Alison mentioned the dancing. We've got a Strictly Come Dancing weekend coming up, haven't we, Alison? Where we're meeting Aliash and Jeanette. We're getting lessons of Aliash and Jeanette.
Can't believe it.
So,
poor Aliash and Jeanette.
Who knows? Next challenge after the marathon could be to enter the Strictly Come Dancing World Championships. Or
I don't think so. Somehow that's a bit too far out of our comfort zone, but we can dream.
Well, next time we meet you, it will be our number 7 Marriage Marathon vlog.
See you
Catch
next
you then.
time. Bye
Bye.
everyone.